Are you looking for an easier way to sample and create loops? Then you need the MC-09 Phrase Lab. This affordable desktop tool gives musicians and DJs complete control over their loops, whether recording live or in the studio. It's also got a fat analog model synth that can scream like a TV303 and a step sequencer to control it. Add some tasty onboard effects and you've got the ultimate tool for creating loop-based music. The Phrase Lab's power comes from the sum of its parts. The DSP synth has realistic modeling of Roland's legendary TB303 bass line. At last, the true sound of a TB303 can be yours. Using the step sequencer and synth controls, you can get those classic bass and lead sounds you've heard on so many different records. Better yet, the MC-09 can go beyond the original TB with more advanced synthesis capabilities. In fact, you can get some really edgy lead synth sounds complete with distortion and phaser effects. And tweaking a sound is easy, using the front panel controls. Here are some of the patterns in the lead mode of the DSP synth. The bass mode patches and patterns are solid as well. You can get massive TB303 and Juno basses as well as other classics. If you want thick analog sounding basses, this is the machine. Using the same DSP for the synths, you can get punchy analog synth drum sounds. There are 10 drum kits in the MC-09, everything from a hard house kit to the sound of your aunt's old rumba rhythm box. These patterns are great for layering with sampled drum loops for a thicker drum track. And finally, there are built-in effects that you can use on incoming sounds or the audio looper. These effects include a filter, slicer, phaser, and isolator, and can be modified in real time with the step sequencer. Using the effects can really change the character of your sounds or samples. To really get an idea of how to use the Phrase Lab, you have to see it in action. Check out how easy it is to build a loop. First, we'll grab a drum loop to sample into the MC-09. Just hook up an audio source, such as a CD player or the output of a DJ mixer. Tap on the tap tempo button for a BPM reference and sample it to one of the audio looper tracks. Notice how the sampled loop will change to a new BPM by tapping on the MC-09's tap tempo button. Now let's use a bass pattern inside the MC-09's DSP synth to go along with the drum loop. By selecting through the patterns, it's easy to match up a bass line. Of course, you can always fine-tune the sound with the front panel controls. Now we can sample the bass line to another audio looper track. Let's add in a lead synth sound to go along with the two other parts. Again, we can try out several patterns and see which one we like the best. You can even tweak the synth sound while recording. Now let's use up the last track in the audio looper by layering a rhythm pattern from the DSP synth. Let's record this to track 4 of the audio looper. You can try out several patterns and change the kits if you want to tweak it more. The knobs also let you set the levels of the parts in the rhythm kit. Now that the loops are recorded, you can make variations using the volume faders on the mixer or add another live synth track to play along with the previously recorded parts. The audio looper works just like a digital recorder, so you can bounce several tracks to one. Another thing you can do with your mix is adding effects. By selecting an effect, you can determine if it will affect all the tracks in the looper or just one. The MC-09 has one more trick up its sleeve for manipulating sounds. It's called loop control. By using the pattern data of a sequence, you can change how the sample will play back. You can use the pitch, trigger points, or divided points in the step sequencer to alter the playback. Making a sequence on the step sequencer is far easier than it was on the original analog synths like the TV303. In just a few seconds, you can make some funky and unusual patterns not possible with traditional MIDI sequencers. Look how easy it is. As you can see, the MC-09 Phrase Lab has all sorts of ways to make fresh loops and patterns. Use it alone or with samplers, digital recorders, and computer sequencers. Either way, you'll have an arsenal of creative tools that make the perfect beat. And, at an amazing price, you won't have to break the bank to own one.
Looking to get some additional help on your Roland or Boss product? Then why not give the Roland Product Support Department a call? Our product support team includes over 25 full-time specialists, and all of them are working musicians and engineers. When you call, they'll have Roland's most current and popular instruments right in front of them, so they can walk you through all your questions step by step. For the best and most thorough product support in the industry, call 323-890-3700 Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. After you hear the prompt, dial 2482 for recording, 2463 for keyboards, 2498 for guitar and percussion, and 2490 for digital mixers and sound cards. In addition to our product support department, Roland has made a wealth of information available on the Roland website, www.rolandus.com. There you'll find a database of thousands of frequently asked questions, software updates, supplemental notes on specific products with specific applications, turbo start documents, and product information. If you don't have access to the web, support documents are also available via the Roland Faxback system. Faxback is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just call 323-890-3780 and follow the prompts. So remember, from digital recording to keyboards, guitar products, electronic percussion, and groove gear, whether you prefer the telephone, the internet, or your fax machine, Roland and Boss Product Support is here to help.